If you're a minister of the gospel and you preach online, you use social media to spread the gospel, or you want to use these platforms to reach more people and possibly grow your ministry, just like we teach here in Kingdom Knowledge Academy. Here are a couple of things you should not do. But before we get into that, remember that digital evangelism is not just about posting. Digital evangelism is not just about posting your sermons on WhatsApp status or posting it on Facebook or whatever platform you are. That is not all there is to digital evangelism. Don't get me wrong. It is part of it, but that is not all there is to digital evangelism. Remember that when you post on social media, you don't just post. You don't just post because you feel like posting. You have an intention. Okay? I'm going to come back to that later on. But remember that registration for our diploma in digital evangelism and wealth creation, which is our 30-day program, is currently ongoing. For 30 days, you are going to learn digital evangelism the right way. There is the right way to do it, and there is the wrong way. Just as we keep telling those who have joined the program, if you do evangelism online for 30 to 90 days without getting or without fulfilling, getting the type of result you have in mind, the type of result you have envisaged, then there is something fundamentally wrong with the way you do evangelism online. Okay, so what are the things you should not do as a minister who use these platforms to spread the gospel? Number one, WhatsApp. Do not just create a WhatsApp group and you decide to add all your contact to the WhatsApp group. That is not digital evangelism. That is called spamming. When you create a WhatsApp group, you don't add everybody you have in your contact. Just because you have me as your contact does not mean I am interested in what you're doing. This is why you need to work with an expert to define your audience. For instance, all right, if, okay, let's not go, okay, let me just say this. Do you know that digital evangelism is first communication in its purest form? Now, if you agree with this definition of evangelism, that evangelism is communication, then you will also agree with this second thought that for you to communicate effectively well, you need to know your audience. You need to know who exactly you're speaking to. So when you're doing digital evangelism, one of the reasons you struggle when you post your content, you post your message, and you don't get result, is because the message is not getting to the right people. You're not communicating to the right people. That is the problem. Remember, when you want to communicate with people, you would have to use a language, use words that they can understand. For instance, I don't speak Hausa. So if you want to communicate with me, no matter how beautiful your words are in Hausa language, no matter how important that message is, as long as you're using Hausa language, I would never understand you. That's the same thing with what most of us are doing. We are passing across a very important message, but to the wrong people. So digital evangelism is first of all identifying the right people. Who are the right people for my message? For my message. For instance, if you're preaching a sermon on on divorce, not everybody is necessarily the ideal audience for that message. So if those persons who are not the ideal audience for that message see the message, it will not resonate, they will not connect. There will not be any resonance because that they are not the ideal people. So when you create a WhatsApp group, don't add everybody. I see ministers do this a lot. You create a WhatsApp group and then you add everybody in your contact. That is wrong. That is not how to do evangelism online. Number two, when you write your sermon, when you create your sermon, don't just forward it to all your contacts. That is not digital evangelism. That is called spamming. Just because you have me in your contact list does not mean that I am interested in what you're doing. You have to take permission. You have to reach out to these people, tell them, okay, this is what I want to start. Are you interested in this? Because when you send this message to these people, you don't just want them to see it. I keep saying this. The gospel must be experienced. So when you send your message, your sermon to these people, you don't just want them to read it or for them to just see it, because most of them are not reading it. You want them to actually read it, and then it causes transformation in their life. That is what you want. You don't just want them to read the message or for them to just see the message. Okay, just take for instance, if you have been doing this, if you've been sending your sermons to your contact, I want you to go back and review the outcome so far. You will notice that majority of the persons respond, all they keep saying is thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's because they're not reading it. They're not reading it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's because they are not reading this thing. They don't even understand what you're saying. They don't know the content. In fact, many of them truly they want to block you, but because you're their pastor, they know you. You know them. You have a relationship with them. They're just accommodating your excesses in that in that channel. So you don't just want them to see the message. You want them to read it, understand what you're saying. That's how you grow. So when you create your sermon, don't forward it to everybody. If possible, ask for permission. Create a tag. You can create a tag or a label or a list on WhatsApp. And then you ask people, are you interested in this thing I want to start? In fact, you may need to be super specific with the type of message you want to put out there. You don't need to put out generic messages. Carve out a niche for yourself. What do you want to be known for? These are things we teach you here at Kingdom Knowledge Academy. You need to work with an expert so that you don't do it the wrong way. You have to do it the right way if you must achieve your result, if you must achieve your aims and objectives. Okay? Number 3, don't just post. Don't just post. Don't just post on social media. Don't just post on your WhatsApp status. Remember, you don't just post because you want to post. You have an intention. There is an inner objective that you want to fulfill. There is that thing you hope that this message will help you to achieve. So don't just post. Define your success metrics. What would success look like for you? For those who joined our program, by the way, remember that batch 4 for our diploma in digital evangelism and wealth creation is currently ongoing. So I encourage you to join the program. So you don't just post, you must define what is success to you. Because if you do something, if you do digital evangelism consistently for 30 to 90 days without getting results, then something is fundamentally wrong with the way you're doing it. That is why you need an expert so that you don't just keep posting. You must have a core strategy to back your posting so that when you post, you actually get the results you're looking for. I was talking to the ministers who joined our program. I told them if I post on social media consistently for 7 days and nobody comes to my DM, that is, nobody sends me a message to appreciate me, to tell me, oh my goodness, I love what you're doing, this is transformative, then something is wrong. That's the same. That's one of the metrics you can use. People must come to your DM. People must start up conversations with you regarding what you are discussing in the public domain. If you keep posting about marriage, keep posting about marriage principles, how to, have a good homes and all of that for 30 days, yet nobody comes to your DM. That is, nobody has ever sent you a message to discuss with you some of these things you've been posting. Something is wrong. Okay? Something is wrong. So these are a couple of things you need to pay attention to. Number 1, when you create a WhatsApp group, do not add everybody you have in your contact. Number 2, don't forward your message or sermon to everybody in your contact. No. Take permission. Ask for permission. And number 3, don't just post. Post with intention. Post with purpose so that when that intention is not being met, you can sit back and 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 review your step. And most importantly, work with an expert. So if you want to learn how to do these things the professional way, the right way, I will encourage you to join our diploma in digital evangelism and wealth creation. It's a 30-day program, it's a 1-month program. Every section is in video format. So you're not just seeing me talk, you will see me do these things I am saying. You will see me create these things, these systems, put these things in place. Okay, the program will teach you two different things. Digital evangelism, how do you reach the right people with the right message? That's number one. How do you use these platforms to grow your ministry? How do you use these platforms to grow your church attendance? All of those things are things we are going to teach you in the academy. And then number two, how do you make money? Ministry is demanding. Money is a critical part of ministry, whether we like it or not. So we don't want you as a minister of the gospel to 100% depend on your church members. Remember, your church members, they have their own burden. They have their own responsibilities. So that when they don't support like you imagine, you don't feel bad. Okay, no minister of the gospel should depend 100% on their member. No minister of the gospel should depend 100% on church offering and donation. You, as a minister of the gospel, you have one of the most important skills in today's economy, and you can make a lot of money from it. So join Kingdom Knowledge Academy. Let us teach you how to use these tools the right way and how to make money from these platforms. I can't wait to see you in class. God bless you.